My name is Charles Leon, and I'm going to talk about the thinking behind creativity. A designer's mind needs to juggle the elements while freewheeling around the possibilities. If logic and rational thinking are so important in the world, why do people strive to be illogical and irrational and create new things? You could define imagination as thinking about things that are not actually present to the senses. Imagination has no commitment to being true or false. You can entertain any proposition even if you know it's a lie. For instance, my car is powered by hamsters. You can explore the consequence of your thought, how much more hamster power your money might buy. And the mind does this by a process of synthesis, of uniting and juxtaposing disparate images, feelings and concepts from remote areas of the mind. The imagination allows us to put together two or more concepts in order to form new, fresh ideas that may surprise or even enlighten us. It's a new way to look at familiar things, such as a strawberry mousse. Poets and artists often use metaphor to create these kinds of juxtapositions, which better describe a feeling than cold logic and truth might be able to, such as I wandered lonely as a cloud, or all the world's a stage. And it's this ability of the imagination to play with pattern conjunctions and disjunctions, finding similar differences or different similarities, which allow us to synthesize new meanings from our knowledge, observations and perceptions. What may seem to the world of logic and reason to be contradictory becomes enlightening, throws up a new point of view on familiar material. The difficulty which creative thinkers have to master is how to decide from the vast store of billions and billions of moments of experience, knowledge, concepts, ideas, judgments, dreams, images, etc., which ones will be relevant, which may shed new light on a problem. What do we use and what do we choose to ignore? If you can imagine that you're a bomb disposal robot for a moment, then to evaluate the problem is to decide if the price of tea in China or the length of the Amazon is worth including in a solution for defusing a bomb. Then you have to also decide from the billions of possibilities what to ignore. The algorithm would take far too long to work out even if you were a supercomputer, and the bomb would explode. Luckily for us humans, we have a better system. We have something that frames our thinking and our attention. We have something that automatically and quickly allows us to filter the relevant from the irrelevant, and then send us off to find a piece of knowledge, perception or experience to solve the problem. This moderator allows us to deal with the problem without the clutter. This moderator is emotion. Emotion allows us to react without unnecessary thinking, to follow our hearts. Emotions have unique properties which are able to direct and monopolize our thinking. Emotions grab our attention. They are at the forefront before any other considerations. We may be able to control our emotions, but we have the emotions first. So if you think about it, emotions have physicality. We feel it in our hearts, not in our heads. We feel that we're not in control. They hijack our thinking. They are quick. They happen before thinking. They are not about logic or reason. But most importantly, they're about something we care about. They're directed towards a specific object. This is not about psychology or the specifics of the emotion, but emotions are always directed towards something. Emotions engage with our beliefs, values and desires. They tend to form them and then to reflect them. If they are strong enough, they will form new beliefs. And a new process of informed emotion begins. It's a kind of shuttle diplomacy. But what emotions have above all is a call to action. This is the spark of creative action, of applying emotion and imagination to problem solving, of directing the mind to find appropriate creative solutions. So that is why emotions, although perhaps complex, are limited in their scope. They can react quickly without being cluttered by millions of bytes of information. They're influenced by and influence our beliefs. Emotions have first charge on our perceptions. They form what might be called our moral compass, our attitude towards the world. The manipulation and use of our emotions and empathy are the key tools that steer the imagination and the vast store of information towards creative solutions. This means that emotions are our first line of defense. Emotions enable us to decide how we feel about incoming sensations and stimulus by checking in with our moral compass. Emotions, which form our beliefs, values and desires, constitute our way of viewing the world by telling us how we feel about it. So incoming perceptions are immediately filtered for relevance, for the degree of tolerance in relation to our beliefs, desires and values, our emotional response. From this, our emotions allow us to use our imagination and our data stores to find solutions and reactions to the problem. It is the imagination that is the working guts of the mind machine. All decision-making involves emotion, albeit emotion with a small e. So we come to a kind of formula or view of problem solving, which is the essence of creative thinking and designing. Incoming information, the problem and the constraint, plus the emotional filter, plus imagination, and synthesis equals creativity. For designers, though, it is the depth, relevance and elegance of the solution that counts.